Hi friend, welcome. It's Michaela. So with the new year coming up, I've definitely been thinking about how I want to set up my bullet journal for 2023. And if you're in the same boat as me where you don't really have an idea yet, or if you're new to bullet journaling, I have some really cute, really simple bullet journal header ideas. Let's just jump right into it. First up, I'm taking my eraser and just lightening up some of my lines of my initial sketch. You don't have to sketch out everything, but I personally do, just in case I decide to change something before I actually ink it in. It just makes it a little bit easier. But if you do decide to sketch out your spreads, I definitely recommend taking an eraser and just lightening up your lines. That way it doesn't show through if you choose to use some lighter colors. All of these header ideas can be accomplished using just 2 markers. I'm going to be using this Tombow brush pen in this gorgeous purple color, as well as my black micron. For this first idea, we're going to take this purple color and write Monday in a very simple font. You can use all caps, you can use all lowercase, but I would definitely recommend to just do it in a simple, clean font. Don't do anything that's like cursive or like script, and you'll see why. So now that we have that written out, I'm going to take my black marker and just write Monday again over top of the purple, but this time smaller and in kind of like a cursive or calligraphy style. Staying with my black marker, I'm just going to draw a box for the next one. I personally really like using bullet journals with dotted grids. That way it just kind of helps you make your lines a little bit more even. Feel free to use a ruler if you want. I do sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Next up, I'm just going to write Monday in the box. Then taking my purple marker, I'm going to drop down 1 row and go over 1 column to just create this little shadow feature on the box. Next up, I'm going to draw a square to make it look like we taped this piece of paper to the page. And just a tip, I usually try to go in with my lighter colors first instead of drawing my lighter colors over top of the black. That way it doesn't just kind of like, bleed or mess up the markers. And I accidentally messed up on this part, but it's okay. We'll keep going. In your bullet journal, be as creative as you want. Have fun with it. Don't be afraid to play around with different letter forms and shapes to create interesting ways to spell a word, like this one here. So for this next one, we're going to do like a little paper hanging off an edge. So first off, starting off, we're going to draw the line for the edge and then draw a little semicircle and then bringing it all the way down and over. And then at the top, let's do kind of like a more curved look. Don't do like a straight across line because we want to make it look like it's kind of folded over top of this edge. So curve the line and then bring it down and connect it, and then finish it off with drawing the line on the other side. I've used this next one a few times before in my previous bullet journals, and this one is actually for all the people out there that don't check the weather in the morning like I don't. I like to set up the weather for the week just so I have it right there in front of me when I'm planning out my day or planning out the next day. So I'm just drawing a box and I'm going to split it, not quite in half, but I'm just going to split it where I feel like I can put the word Monday and then also the weather. So let's say that Monday is going to be a little bit rainy and cloudy. I'm going to draw a cloud and some little raindrops, and then let's say it's going to be 56 degrees on Monday, and that is just to help me remember what the weather is for that day. This is another one of my favorites. Taking my purple pen, I'm going to write the number 12 here, and then I'm going to take my black micron and write the abbreviation for Monday over top. These next ones are a few other ideas of how to write Monday in a creative way. Don't forget to add some pop of color with some dots or maybe even coloring in the letters. For this one, I'm going to show you an easy way to do modern calligraphy. I actually switched to a little bit of a thicker marker just so you can see it a bit better. What we're going to do is just swoop in. And we're going to do this little short line here. So for modern calligraphy, you can literally do, whatever you want that's your style. So I'm going to do a small hill like that. Just do a small loop over, and then I'm gonna go really big on the second one, And then I'm gonna come down past the baseline. So all like where the letters usually sit, I'm gonna come past the baseline here and then scoop all the way back up. This O, let's do it really small just to make something interesting, make it look interesting. So we're gonna do a really small O and do the swoop into the N. Do another short stroke down for the stem of the N. And then let's make this N really big. So just gonna come up and back down. And this one, I tried to stay on the baseline. I didn't want to do too many descenders because we have this one. We'll probably do a descender for D, and then we have one for Y as well. So I'm just going to kind of leave it on the same line as the baseline. And since this O is small, let's do the little circle of the D pretty small too. And then coming up, we're going to do a loop to do the stem of the D and bring it down past the baseline. So up and down past the baseline and back up to the A. So since we have small, small, let's do something a little bit bigger, not too big, but so we don't have two smalls in a row. And this is literally just your preference. You can do all small if you want, but I'm gonna do something a bit bigger for this circle here for the A, just to make it look a little bit different. And I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna do just a slight descender, not all the way down to how I have the M and the D. Slight descender and back up to the Y. And for the Y, I like to connect my A's and my Y's using one line. So it's not like I stop and then do another like, you know, stroke for the Y like this, or like, you know, in the M. We're going to come up, make the U part of the Y, and then come down. You can, and then with the descender, you can get as fancy as you want. You can come all the way down and, you know, do something crazy, but I'm just gonna come down here just a bit, loop it back around, and finish it off with a little do like that. For calligraphy, I would recommend using like a brush pen like this that has this kind of tip here to get the like thicks and thins more easily. You know, you come up and then when you press down, you get this thick line, and then you can kind of come back up on the tip, press down, come back up on the tip, and then press down again to get these like really nice thicks and thins. But if you don't have a brush pen, you can do faux calligraphy, and I'll show you what that looks like. So for calligraphy, the thins are always the stroke that's going up, and the thicks are always the one that's going down. And we're just gonna go in and thicken up all the downstrokes. So this stroke here, when you first go up, that's thin, and when you come down, this is thick. So I'm just going to thicken it up like that. This would be thin, and coming down briefly here would be a little bit thicker, so I'm just gonna thicken this one up, not too much. Bringing this up, and then this one would be a thick line here. I'll leave it uncolored in so you can see it a little bit better. So you'd come up here, and then, you know, kind of maybe a little thick on that side. And you could even leave it like this, but since I already colored this one in, I'm gonna go ahead and color these in as well. And that is an easy guide to doing kind of like a faux modern calligraphy. For this one, I'm writing Monday in like a simple kind of cursive-y font, and then I'm just gonna take the black micron and like do some little lines underneath it to make it a little bit interesting. And for the last one, I wanted this to look like one of those tearaway calendars. So I'm making a square shape, but I'm keeping the lines very fluid and kind of like curved to make it look like the page is like lifting up a bit. And then I'm going to add some dots and some spirals at the top. And lastly, I'm going to color in the back of the paper with this purple color. And here's a quick setup to show you how you can incorporate these headers into a weekly spread. This is a final look at all the headers that we created today. I hope you found this helpful. If you try any of these, I would love to see them. Please, please, please share them with me over on Instagram. You can find me at cat_in_Mac. Happy planning as we go into the new year. Check out this video here on the left-hand side of the screen to see even more simple spreads that you can do that I set up in my September bullet journal. I will see you in the next one. Bye.